chapter in Come On Out with David Leddick. You know, this time we're going to do something completely different than we usually do. I have a couple of guests, and you've probably seen them before here. This is Reniel Diaz, this is Michael Glidden, they're great pals of mine. I have a new book. This is just the dummy. 100 Things You Need to Know in the 21st Century. This is the dummy. God only knows what the final book will look like. But I had a great idea. This is 100 things you need to know. So I'm just going to open the book at random in various places. I have no idea what the one thing will be. And then the gentlemen are going to kind of give me their reaction. Are you ready, gents?
Mm-hmm. We're ready.
All right, we're opening this book, and it says, "From my paranoid friends, maybe that man following you is a talent scout from Hollywood." And it says, and I have a little text, "It's true, my darlings, it's true. All those people you see lurking about just might be crazy about you. Of course, they also just might be crazy, too. There is that." So, what do you think about you must have friends who think that people are following them or something's going on. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not in the physical sense. Maybe through social media and things like that. Now, the new era of the stalker is, you have your fans.
No, because you know my nephew. Mm-hmm. I have a police car that often is parked in front of my house. He is sure that the police car is here to get him. And I said, no, the police car is here to protect me. And it's true. I mean, who's going to come to my house with a police car sitting in front of it? It's a very big plus. He's sure that they're there to get him. And it's very funny because I also tell him, I said, you think the guy that's this weird guy walking in front of the house is out to get you, and I think that he wants a date.
And maybe you're both right. Well, I think it points out that, the people around you, some people think maybe too much about what other people around them think and they're not themselves. But it's also still important to pay attention to the people around you because they can also avail themselves to you. So I don't know. It's like both ways. Like, you can't be scared that they're there, but you have to maybe also take them in.
Because I think there's a thing, I see people I don't know anything about as being interesting. Like I used to always say, if I was on the subway in New York, if there was a crazy person on the subway, he would be in my car.
Of course he would.
And crazy people, two things I know about crazy, I know three things about crazy people. One is, they get ignored. Yes. So I always pay attention to, yes, hi, how are you? Because other people pretend they're invisible, right?
Of course.
The other thing is, you ever notice the hot weather here? You see crazy people walking around in overcoats and stocking caps.
Very true.
They don't feel the heat.
Crazy people don't get hot.
The thing is, you suffer from the heat, be happy, because if you go crazy, it's over. You won't suffer anymore. And the other thing I know, and I'm very reluctant to talk about this, but crazy people can be great in bed.
I don't know. I don't have that
don't
experience
ask
yet.
Me how I know.
It could be possible.
All right.
That's a different story.
Are we ready for another one?
Let's do one more.
Okay. All right. Here's another one. I'm not looking. It's a complete surprise. Oh, don't tell us what you think. Tell us what you feel. Revlon used to say this to me when they were an advertising client. They were a bunch of toughies, and I would come back from Europe, and I'd say, I think. And they would respond with, we don't want to know what you think, we want to know what you feel. And I would say, for next autumn, I feel plum. And then that would be the color that we would go with for the next fall. But anyway, I do think that your subconscious, I think we should pay more attention to our subconscious.
Sure.
Because those flashes aren't just flashes.
Sure.
Do you?
Of course. No, I think that's very true. I think if people led their lives a little bit more with that kind of phrase in mind, what you think involves everything. It has all of society's problems. It has you thinking about your mother. It has you thinking about what you have to go through the next day. Where what you feel is just what's there. It's more honest.
They're both artists. Also, when you're working, do you work from a sense of how you feel like working, or what you think the picture should be like, the painting should be like?
I think what you feel is, more subjective, so you get a more authentic interpretation if you just kind of go with what you're actually feeling as opposed to rationalizing or trying to over-explain.
And I think in art school you're always taught to not consider the audience, just make it, what you're really your vision and what you're really about. And when the audience will come, the audience will be there. So I think we're taught as artists to go towards that route. So maybe we're a little bit more in tune to doing what we feel. No, but I think everyone should have that.
Because I know from my meditation that when you meditate for like a week, suddenly, you're feeling like you're thinking back here instead of up here.
Maybe you are.
And I am. But I think your subconscious tends to be in a different part of your brain. And I think a lot of people think, oh, well, that's just a whimsical thing that came to me. And I think it's more likely a message from your subconscious. I think you have a problem often, your subconscious is sorting through it. You don't know anything about it. And then the solution comes to you and you think, oh.
Or your gut. It's like feeling, like for a lot of regular people, I think that means like going with your gut or your first instinct.
And they don't like to. They think it's better to think it through. Yeah, I do. Okay, now we're going to do one more in our little show here. Let's see if maybe it'll be sexual. I don't know. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Oh, now you can. We live in Miami. The good thing about hot weather is you don't have to use moisturizer. There's a good side to everything. If you live in hot weather, as we have in Miami, you can console yourself about your inevitable dampness. It is great for your skin. I always think I look 10 years older as soon as I go north. So what, do you agree with that? Well, I don't know. What do you guys feel about heat? I love heat.
I like the heat. I used to have to moisturize up north, and if I moisturized here, I'd probably like drip on
Wash
myself
away.
or something. Yeah, no, I think it's good.
Now, do you use moisturizer?
Not at all. No.
No, we used to
Well,
up
you don't
north, but
really
not
need too
anymore.
much, no.
Not
You don't
anymore,
really
no.
need to.
I
No,
mean,
I
you
think
still
maybe-
wash your face, and you have to still.
Because we have so many good-looking people here, and part of it might be
I
because
think
they
it
don't
keeps your
have to
skin
use
well.
moisturize.
Yeah, skin
Yeah.
and a lot of we eat lots of fruits and coconut and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And those things are good for your skin too. Lots of vitamin C, all those things that we
You know,
have here.
you're also an option of telling me that you don't believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, but these are good things. Maybe we've known you for too long.
All right, do we have time to do one more? Let's try
Sure.
one more. Okay, just one more, just to see because this is going well. All right, we're looking, and it says, do not get involved with someone expecting them to change. The only way they will change is to get worse. If you love someone, love them exactly as they are. Do not expect your love to change them. It won't. You're waiting and watching for them to change will only make them feel guilty. And it's always, instead of accepting the guilt, they will turn it around, and for some reason, you will be to blame. When you make people feel guilty, they want to get you out of their life so they can stop feeling guilty. It's as simple as that. What do you think? Give me your take on this.
I think it's good advice.
Can people change?
I don't know that people can change. I think they can modify, but inside I still think that, maybe externally, but inside they're still really not the same. And if you get them to do that, then they're really suffering on the inside. You kind
So
of
are either of
ruin
you waiting
them
for
as a
the other
person.
one to change?
You ruin them as a person. But I think particularly this might be a problem. I think for women, I think there's a whole society thing about when a woman gets a bachelor, you change him. You make him into this guy that's no longer the wild bachelor that you fell in love with.
Mhm.
And I don't think that that's always the right thing to change someone that way.
Would you give me an opinion? Do you expect him to ever change?
Prefacing it by the fact that we've been together since we were 20 years old, so like we were babies when we met. So not knowing what I was getting into, going into it, I think it would have been naive even then to expect to be able to change somebody. You end up learning more about them, and you learn the things that you don't like and the things that you do like. But it's about acclimating yourself to it, and you
And I think sometimes they just change, not in a bad way or a good way, but they become, through their own life experience,
people-
as
Over
you
time.
do.
Yeah.
And then you kind of become different, and then, I think you're fortunate if the ways you change work.
I think there's a personal evolution, but that doesn't mean the other person's changing you.
No.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I think you just have to, okay, this is great. And also people can be surprising. You're involved with somebody and suddenly they reveal a side of themselves. So remember, folks, let me put my glasses back on. My book is called, who knows if this will be the cover, but 100 Things You Need to Know in the 21st Century, because we're in a completely new century. It's all different. Okay? Thanks very much. Ciao, ciao.
Goodbye.